try!
Steve, was Beauden ever a realistic chance of playing this week?
Well, we weren't sure. That's why we brought him over, and it's early in the week we discovered he wasn't quite right, so we're not prepared to risk him. And he trained well today in our earlier session and done some weight, so Doc's pretty happy where he's at, but we won't be playing him.
So he hasn't had any of the heroes post what he did Tuesday?
No, it's been good.
Steve, you obviously take that stuff pretty seriously, doing the right thing here. Is it concerning that he passed this test on the night and yet a couple of weeks later he's still not quite there?
No, I think it's one of those things. Head knocks, they're pretty complicated, and sometimes you can. And like, we've had guys that have failed it just because they can't remember the numbers, and they've been as good as gold the next day. So I think the system's there to protect the player, and in this case he passed it, but Doc said, look, he's still not feeling great, so we protected him then.
Do you have a lot of confidence in that head injury assessment though, because he was cleared and your guys said no?
Yeah, I've got a lot of confidence, and I've got a lot of confidence in our own doctor too, so
Do you worry though that maybe other teams might put someone back out there who's been cleared and
look, it's not for me to bag the system. If you want to bag it, you bag it. Okay, but I've told you I've got a lot of confidence in it, confidence in our own doctor. What other teams do is up to them. We've got a lot of understanding about what we will and won't do with our players when they're injured, and we're clear about it. So what other teams will do, you have to go and ask them.
What's going to happen with Richie Moa?
Well, he's going to stay because Beauden's going to go home, so we'll need some backup. So we have to revise the plan of sending Richie home because Beauden's going home instead.
Any thought of utilising TJ as a backup first five, which I know you have done? Okay.
No.
Can you talk us through the decision? What is Matt Todd doing better than Ardie Savia at the moment, or is it something that Ardie isn't doing?
Well, Ardie's had a really massive year. I don't think he missed too many games to the Hurricanes, and at the same time we've been trying to put size on him, which he's done really well, and we just think giving him a bit of a breather at this point would be good for him. Matty's playing particularly well, particularly in that physical side of the game, on defensively and over the ruck, and that's probably what's got him the nod ahead of Ardie. So we've always said there's been not a lot between them, and we just made a decision on what we think's right for the team and right for the individual.
That's making a bit of a habit though, isn't it, of being sort of left out and coming in and sort
well,
of
that's why
I
I continually say when we don't pick him, he's the unluckiest player. And it's why I also say, I love him. He's one of my favourite players because every time we've asked him to step up to the plate, he's stepped up to it. And you don't get any sulkiness, you don't get any change from Matty. He just does what's right for the team, and you couldn't ask for any more from him.
How much have you seen advancement in what the Wallabies are doing this year?
Well, they've won a lot of games. They've worked hard on their fitness, you can see that, and Mick's doing a good job with the skill side of it, so they're looking to play a bit more football, and they'll be going into this test pretty confident, I suggest.
Is there anything noticeably different aside from what you just touched on from a game point of view? Are they stringing more phases together?
Well, when your skills improve, you can do more things, you can hang on to the ball more, and when you're fitter, you don't tend to make the same amount of mistakes. So, they'll be disappointed they lost to South Africa, just as South Africa were disappointed. Both those games could have gone either way. So they didn't. They ended up in a draw, and as everyone knows, if you beat the All Blacks, doesn't matter what else you've done, you've beaten the All Blacks. So they'll be hanging their hat on trying to do that, and it's been a while, so they're pretty desperate. We just need to be as desperate as they are.
Steve, what's your prediction of how Lima's going to go? And I guess he's a bit of a different player to Beauden. Does that change what you guys want to do?
Well, the prediction, I think he'll go good. I hope so, anyway. He's a good player, and he's confident. He's been around our environment for a long time now, and he's happy driving the bus, so to speak, and so I'd expect him to front up and play a really good test match. will we play any different? No, but like he is different to Bode, so what you see will probably look different, but our style won't change. No.
Waisake Naholo gets a chance back on the wing again. He's obviously had a bit of a tough time through injury over the last little while. Is this a chance for him now with the other injuries in the squad to maybe lock down that spot for the end of year tour?
I guess so. Yeah.
What are you looking for from him?
Score lots of tries, make lots of metres. You know, just do his core roles. Break the line, be creative, work ethic, high ball catch, make his tackles. He's pretty good over the ball too, so if we can pinch a couple of those, it'll be good. But you just want him to get involved and believe in himself. That's the big thing. So, got a good task on his hands because both the Aussie wingers are good players.
Does it help him having Lima there at number 10?
I don't think it'll make any difference. Both whoever's at 10 is a world-class player. So, what'll help him is him believing in himself and getting out there and getting into it.
Steve, results here have been pretty mixed, kind of recent years, last 6 or so. What can you put that down to, and does it have any bearing come this weekend?
You're talking about Brisbane?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've won 4 and drawn 1 and lost 1, so not too mixed. The scores haven't been massively great in our favour, but you wouldn't expect that because Australia are a good team and have been for a long time, and they always get up when they play us, and I'm expecting another tough bruising encounter on Saturday. But I think it's a bit of a fallacy to say that we haven't had much success here. I think over time, in my time anyway, I think we've only lost 1 and drawn 1.
Steve, is Curtly Beale the centre point of the Wallabies attack? Is he the danger man you've got to shut down?
I wish he was the only one. I mean, he is a dangerous player and he's a good player, but he's not the only one. I mean, there's a whole lot of them across the park, and I think Will's playing as good as I've seen him play for a long time, and that's giving people around him confidence. There's others that are really playing well. Folau at the back's always going to be dangerous. I think when you get more than one person in the back line, it becomes a little harder to look after them all. So, they'll be happy with how they're going in the backs and what they bring, but our job will be to shut them down.
Steve, with no trophy hinging on this game, is this a more difficult coaching week for you? Is it difficult for you to make sure that desperation's there in the team?
Look, when you play Australia, being a New Zealander, you enjoy the encounter, so there's not too much difficulty getting people excited about that. And particularly over the last, wee while, there's been plenty in it. Once the Bledisloe's taken out of it, there's still plenty in it because both teams are reasonably desperate. Like the Aussies want to win a Test match. If they win this one, their whole year they'll be able to walk around and say they've improved, and they're desperate to be able to say that because they've been working hard at trying to do that. If we were to play poorly and lose, it would be a reasonably large rock under the towel. If we were to play well and lose, then you can accept that because you got beaten by a better team. But there's no motivational problems with this team. They want to play. We want to play better every time. We don't always achieve that, but that's the aim of the group. And we've got a lot of people who haven't experienced playing here, which is great for us, I think, because it'll be another learning experience, another thing we'll be able to bank going forward as a team. We've got a lot of young guys getting an opportunity, so whatever happens will happen, but you certainly don't have to motivate. No.
Steve, you said a few weeks ago, I can't remember when, but that the pecking order of your number 6s would become apparent at some stage. Has that happened now, do you feel?
No, because we haven't given JK a run yet. He's just sitting there waiting until we get to the Northern Hemisphere. So, but I think like Liam's played particularly well. Via's a young man who's learning to be a Test player. Both of them are going extremely well, and we know what JK's done in the past, and it's just a matter of right opportunity presenting itself to bring him back after him not, he hasn't played a lot of rugby, so to chuck him in the deep end against Australia without having played for a while probably wasn't the right choice, so that's why we didn't do it.
By not playing him though, members of the public will perceive that you have got a pecking order and Jerome's near the bottom.
Yeah, but that's okay. They don't pick the team and they don't run the team, and they're always going to do that. Like between the fans and the media, everyone's allowed an opinion. The difference is their opinion doesn't get tested. The people's opinions that get tested are the selectors, and we've got to do what's right for the team. And we can't get emotional about it, and can't get all the fans are going to say this. You just got to do what's right, and it wouldn't have been right to play him, so we didn't.
But by the time you actually do roll him out, you would have had probably another fortnight of not having played any rugby.
That's right, but the opposition might not be as good as this opposition. So it might make the risk and the reward of doing it a little easier.
Can you tell us a wee bit more about Squire, Stephen, in terms of how far you think he's progressed this season?
Well, he's a typical new entry into Test rugby last year. He was not always accurate, not always able to reproduce what he was doing in Super Rugby, but he's got more comfortable, and a lot of the anxieties and and the overwhelmness of being an All Black is starting to disappear, and you're starting to see the real Liam. He's a real physical beast. He's got pace, he's got good skills, good in the line out. So he's got the whole package, and it's just a matter of now of polishing that to the point where it's really we get to see all his potential.
Steve, can you try and sum up what Wayne Smith has done for the All Blacks, and also what he's done for you as a coach and also as a mate?
We haven't got that long, have we? Well, as a person who's worn the jersey, I think 25 Test matches is back in those days a lot of Test matches, and he was a inventive player, having played with him at representative level. He was he had his own quirks, but he was inventive, and he carried that innovation into his coaching. He's never sat still as a coach, and he's always been very passionate about it. I remember when I actually played under him as well as with him as a coach. During that period, you'd always have to calm him down a wee bit early on in his coaching career, but it was all about the passion of the job and the people who he was working with and the jersey that he was coaching for. So that's never left him. I think he's been world leading in how to use technology. He's never been afraid of it. He's never been afraid of feedback or feed forward, depending on how you like to hear it. And so that's made him someone special to coach with and against. And he's very open-minded. He shares things, and has the same belief as me. If you share things, you'll get things back, and then it's a challenge to who can do it best. And so he's been great that way. He's been good with young players, good at identifying talent, and from a coaching point of view, how's he helped me? Well, all those things that I've talked about, make you understand the qualities you need to be a good coach. So, he's pushed me in ways he probably doesn't even know he's pushed me. So, and it's been a pleasure to coach with him. We haven't had too many disagreements, and both of us are still here, so we've survived them. And a mate, it's always good to be able to coach with people you can trust, and there's plenty of trust there. So it'll be a big day for him come Saturday, and he won't be defined by whatever happens Saturday. But he's been a great coach. He's done something magnificently for the All Blacks and New Zealand rugby, and probably world rugby. So I think we can all be proud of him.
Steve, on the coaching front, you surprised the rapid succession of Brad Thorne into the coaching ranks of Super Rugby? How do you think he'll go?
Look, I don't know what's happened over here in with that regard, but I know Thorne is a pretty thorough bloke, and he's got the makings of a really good coach, and if he's given the time to be able to develop the skills that he does have, and grow some more, as we all do when we start coaching. We don't have all the tools in the toolbox, but he's certainly a guy who will have the work ethic and the thought process to try and get where he needs to get to. So definitely, I think already we've seen that in the jobs he's done. He's been reasonably successful with those teams. So he's a pretty focused bloke. Once he's on the railway track, he's pretty hard to get off it. So I look forward to watching him and seeing him grow and become as good a coach as he was player. So I hope it goes really well for him. He's a good man.